I'm Chip Townsend, and this is the Team Chip Podcast.
Small daily habits shape your biggest successes. You're just programmed to giving your all and giving your best. The difference in good and great lies in the details. And if you can be trusted with small, you can be trusted with big. Hey guys, welcome back to the Team Chip Podcast. Oh, another beautiful day. The sun is up, the weather's beautiful, and I just hope you're having an amazing day. I'm excited to be here with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's been kind of heavy on my mind. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do the small things is how you do the big things. And kind of why that matters. Like small habits, small daily habits are what shape your biggest successes. We are the product of our decisions and our habits for the last however many years. We're the product of our decisions. And so that's what boggles my mind sometimes, like some of the decision making around me at times, like, wow, how could you decide to do that? Right? Because it's going to have a major impact moving down the road. But the small things matter so much. So welcome to the podcast. Excited to be here. Guys, small things are things like, waking up and brushing your teeth. We tell our kids all the time, get up and brush your teeth, have clean teeth, take care of them so you have teeth in the future. It's in the dojo, in the martial arts school, it's how you tie your belt. As a school owner, it's, are the dust bunnies cleaned up out of the corner? Is the trash in the can or beside the can? Things like that. The small details matter. And the more we pay attention to the small details over time, it becomes a habit to take care of things, hopefully with excellence, etc. And then the big things begin to matter more and more all the time. And another thing to think about, there's a book I read one time called The Slight Edge. It was a really great book. I believe it was by Josh Olson. But the idea that, pennies under the couch cushion over a long period of time truly add up, right? They add up and they make a big difference. And so the small things do matter. And it's biblical too. Luke 16:10, NIV says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with little will be dishonest with much. And again, it's just that concept of the small things do matter, and they matter in a big way. And so you might be like, why? Why do the small things matter? Let's think in terms of training, right? Let's say that, if I'm told to do 50 push-ups, but I only do 48, right? Or I only do 40 and I cut it short every time. And then maybe I go into some sort of competition and I've got to fight a 3-minute round or a 5-minute round, but my body only has the conditioning to make it through 4. The habits I built on the mat, cutting corners and kind of ignoring the small things, for lack of better words, builds muscle memory in me that causes me to cut short, right? So maybe a better example might be I'm a 100-meter dash runner, right? I'm a 100-meter runner, but at yard or meter 95, I shut off every time and just kind of glide through the end. And I don't finish strong. And then I go to a big meet. I've got to run hard and my muscle memory kicks in and I shut off at yard 95. And that small last 5 yards, I haven't been taking serious and I get past, right? So in our training, we do over time what we practice. Another kind of fun example of that, I think, is one time I was reading about a professional martial artist from back in the 70s, 80s. And he had shared an article or shared a story about how he was a law enforcement officer and he had trained point fighting, which was not super hard contact. I know we talk about the kind of blood and guts days of the old martial arts, but technically point fighting back in the day was like throwing a punch and stopping it right before it touched or just as it touched, but there was no follow through or power behind it. So anyway, the point is as a police officer, he got into an altercation and he just like had to defend himself and tapped somebody and was in a fight and like, whoa, this didn't go the way I expected it to. And he ended up transitioning into full contact kickboxing. He was like, it really hit me hard how what I do, the small things I do every day, the habits that I build, the muscle memory I build, it's going to come live in those moments where I need it, right? So it's so important that we pay attention to the small details and build the right habits, build the right muscle memory. So when the big times come, the big things happen, we're prepared and our muscle memory kicks in and we don't have to think as much. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you don't have to think hard to make it happen. You're just programmed to giving your all and giving your best. An example in, in leadership in business, or maybe being like the boss, and I hate to say the boss, but if we're allowing, staff members to come in 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, or allowing them to slide on small details, or allowing half-hearted effort, right? It seems small, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but 5 minutes here and there over an entire year adds up to hours, right, of time that I guess got wasted or was not maximized for the good of that business so it could serve its community and clientele, et cetera. So, but here's the other side of that. As a boss, and again, I hate to use the term boss, and we think of ourselves as a team, but as a boss, when you allow someone to let those small things slip, you are in essence endorsing that behavior. And as you endorse that behavior, other people begin to pick up the behavior, and it becomes the culture of your business to let things slide, or to be late, or to not be clean, or give your best, or whatever it is at what you do. And the other thing is, a staff member, when I'm cutting those corners and not quite, the next staff member that comes along that doesn't cut those corners and they actually hustle and do their job that they're paid to do, I'm opening my door to be outperformed and get pushed out the door. So yeah, the small things, they matter a ton. And then life, like beyond the mat and beyond business, the habits that we create in our training transition over into life outside. So it takes discipline, a lot of self-discipline and personal discipline, to always be early, not late, to always pay attention to the details and make sure that I'm giving my best and giving my all at everything I do. And let's say if we're training on the martial arts mat and we're always doing that muscle memory and habit, it actually transitions out to everything else I do, to my job, to my home, to every other area of life. So I know I keep saying it, but the small things matter so much. The difference in good and great lies in the details. It's dotting the I's, it's crossing the T's, it's being an hour early versus a minute late. It's just giving it your best and giving it your all. That's the difference in good and great. And so it's important in our personal habits, to make sure we're giving our all. Don't rush the warm-ups. Don't slack on technique and detail. If you go into I think in terms of martial arts, as a martial arts instructor of the class, and you have a 1-hour class, there are 168 hours in the week. And, maybe you're super dedicated and you're training 5 classes a week, 5 hours a week. That's still only 5 hours of 168. It's not that much. It's not that much to ask of you, or for you to ask of yourself, to give your all and hammer the small things, hammer the details in that hour, so you can walk away with maximum benefit from the time that you put in. Don't slack on the warm-up. Don't slack on the details. When someone gives you feedback in your job, pay attention to the details of that feedback. And how can I really maximize that to perform better and to serve better? This lack of paying attention to the details and the small things, it carries over, like I said, into the personal habits, into work ethic. People begin to look at you and go, "Oh, that guy, that girl, they just don't have much work ethic." They just kind of halfway things every time they do it. And that's not, I don't think, for me, that's not a way I want people to look at me. And very quickly, I want to say, it's not about ego. I'm not trying to puff my own ego by working hard and doing good things. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to serve God, because we're called to be excellent. We're called to be our best. And so at the end of the day, it's about glorifying God through the actions that I take with the gifts he gives me, et cetera. So, and absolutely do I have an ego. We all do. We all fight with that at times. But I'm trying to say that's not what it's about, though. It's about being our absolute best. Just make sure that you're taking responsibility for all of your daily choices, not making excuses for the things that you shortcut, things like that. Because again, I know I've said it over and over, but the small things will build into the big things. And if you can be trusted with small, you can be trusted with big. If you work hard at small, people will know that you'll work hard with the big. And if you want to get to grow and get opportunities given to you and earn opportunities, it's so unbelievably important that we pay attention to the small things. So some steps that maybe you can take to take action on this: commit to excellence. Decide before you go, I am going to be excellent. I am going to give my best. And think in terms of I am, I will be, I can be, and I'm going to. Get rid of the self-doubt. Step in and say, I'm going to apply myself fully. Take pride. Now, I know pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, but we should all have a touch of pride in doing a good job, in reflecting well, and showing excellence in what we do, from the way you dress to the way you drive, to the way you treat people, to the way you finish a task or a project. We should have a little sense of pride. Don't just get it done. Do it with intention. Even the smallest things. I think, like, you get up in the morning, and I mentioned this earlier, but you brush your teeth, and it's like you just kind of half brush your teeth, and man, brush those teeth with intention. Like, scrub those babies and make them clean and feel good about what you've done. Make your bed. Get up and make your bed first thing. It's an easy early win. It's always nice to come home to a clean nest, a clean home. You don't feel stressed and discomfort coming home, but it's also one of the small details of life. Do it and do it well, and get that small kind of win under your belt early in the day, but commit to excellence and then follow through on that. And if you don't make excellence one day, it's okay. Welcome to life. Nobody makes excellence every day. Nobody's perfect, right? Another thing biblically too around excellence is in Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about those things. God is telling us right there to put our mind on excellence. He's telling us to commit to excellence. Commit to it. Believe in yourself. And then take the steps and put in the elbow grease to make it happen. Another thing is, hold yourself accountable. And I would even say be accountable to others. Set high standards for yourself. And especially when nobody's watching, be someone who the boss can leave and they come back and you not only deliver, maybe over delivered a little bit. And the naysayers of the world, I remember as a kid, they call you, that's called brown nosing, or that's called being the teacher's pet or whatever. That's a bunch of BS. That's called being your best and being excellent and serving to your best, right? You need to hold yourself to an exceptionally high standard, especially again when nobody's watching. And another piece of that's integrity too. Be integrated, be one person. Don't be divided and I'm this person over here and that person over there and this person over here. Be you and be one, so people can learn to love you and trust you for who you are and believe in you as well. And I also said be accountable to others. Surround yourself with people who push you to be a better person. We get to choose every day who we're around for the most part, right? And, there's a cliche saying in the leadership industry that you become the average of the five people you spend the most time with. I would encourage you to choose very well who those 5 people are. Not the people that are making excuses, not the people that can't get off the couch, not the people that everything out there is the fault of the world. Surround yourself with people that take ownership, that drive. It's easy to surround yourself with people that have low expectations for themselves because it makes it easy for you to look good. It's hard to surround yourself with people who have high expectations or high performers because it forces you in a way to either be at the bottom of that bucket or to rise like the cream to the top of that bucket. So I would say hold yourself accountable and let others hold you accountable. And another piece of that too is if you make a commitment to something like excellence or more like set a goal, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the next, 3 weeks or 5 weeks. Tell those people that are high performers around you that you trust, love, and respect, and let them hold you accountable. Give them permission to check in and go, hey, how's that going? Are you doing okay with that? Awesome. And when you're falling off and they check on you and you feel bad for that, it's okay. You're allowing that. You're allowing that so you can be accountable and be a stronger person and build consistency. I've already talked about it, but get up in the morning, brush your teeth well, start with the simple things, read something positive, make your bed, start your day with an early, easy win to get you on the right track, and get in the habit of that every day. Getting your mind in a positive space and moving forward. Show up for your training with focus and intention. I'll never forget, I did a leadership and kind of a teaching session for a group of teachers. I'll just kind of leave it at that, at a very high level organization one time. And I'll never forget this. I came in, and one of the tables up close to where I was at, I went around and introduced myself to everybody. One of the tables up close to where I was at, I could hear their conversation. And a couple of the folks at the table were just like, I can't believe I have to be here. This is such a waste of my time. And these were teachers who teach in the classroom and pass that mindset to our children. And so I made a concerted effort to show them love, to pour into them as much as I could, and to share just some really good nuggets that would maybe help move their needle. And it was really cool. And this is not about me, but by the end of that session, they didn't want to leave. And we sat and had a great conversation after that session. But it was just funny because they came in with, in my mind, the wrong mindset. Well, I have to be here. I should just get the day off. It's a day off. We shouldn't be in an in-service training. We should be, doing what we want to do right now. This isn't going to be any good for me. And I remember saying, okay, God, please help me to change these people's minds. And so we had a good day and ended up, it was just really cool. But the point is, show up with the right mindset, with I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, and I'm going to pay attention to the small things and be my absolute best. If you practice, again, discipline in the small things, you will have discipline in the big things. So I'm going to kind of talk through this again. 3 actionable steps, just 3 things you can start doing right now. Commit to excellence in the small things. Commit to excellence in everything. Hold yourself accountable. And I would add to that, allow others to hold you accountable, and surround yourself well so other people can encourage you. Build consistency through good, positive daily habits. Get in the habit of getting up a little early. Again, reading something positive, getting a quick early win in your day so that you can move on. One of the things that I do is I get up first thing and I go work out. And it's one thing I can control and I can do. And I know if all else fails through the rest of the day, at least I accomplished doing something to kind of better myself through the day and get something done. So I hope that helps, guys. How you do anything is how you do everything. How you take care of the small things is how you will take care of the big things. And a lot of this is a result of our habits. What kind of habits are we building? Do we make it a habit to be okay showing up late or to cut the corners on things? Or do we make it a habit to be excellent? Commit to that excellence and give it your absolute best at everything that you do. Remember, your success, your life isn't built in one moment. It's built in an accumulation of a lot of small moments, a lot of small things that you repeat every day over and over. Repeat them with awesomeness. Be your absolute best. So this week, I want you to focus on doing the small things with excellence. Think to yourself, where are some places in my life that I can step up? We have multiple facets. We got work, maybe church, social groups, our training space, our home and family life, and sometimes that wheel of life, in Zig Ziglar's words, these different areas, maybe we have a flat tire in this area. We're not giving it our best. Think about, where can I step in and be a little more excellent in another area of my life to bring my best? Man, thanks for listening to the Team Chip podcast. We love you guys. We're thankful for you. I truly do this because I love it. And I just want to share nuggets that if you just get one small nugget out of it that moves your needle and helps you in some way, that's all we want. And we're super happy about that. Please give us a review, like it, share it, and all those things. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for tuning into the Team Chip podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget, subscribe, share, and or leave a review, because we need you. We appreciate you so much. And without you, we can't make this happen. Remember, consistency is the key to success. So go out there and never be outworked.